The One-Year Marketing Plan is a 2-day workshop coming September 19th and 20th to Wizard Academy. Stick around at the end of this video for more details. This story is true, but I've changed the names, town, and industry. In 2018, a local media company hired an outside firm to conduct a top-of-mind survey in their city. Now, top of mind, as the name implies, is a name recognition survey to see which company name comes to mind when a category is mentioned. It's much like word association. So if I say soft drinks, the first name most people say is Coke. If I say fast food, most people will say McDonald's. This independent firm happened to ask the question, when you think of tap dancing schools in Newport, Rhode Island, what name comes to mind? 18% said Gene Kelly School of Dance. 14% said Savion Glover's Tap Till You Drop. After those two were mentioned, few could name any school. Those numbers seem kind of small, but for most businesses on a local level, if you score a 14 or an 18%, you're doing great because most people don't know most businesses in most categories. I mean, try it for yourself. Name a fence company in your town. How about a mechanic? Home insulation, eye doctor, interior decorator, accountant. It's not easy, is it? Most people don't know most businesses because mostly you don't need to know. But the data is irrefutable. The business that comes to mind first is the one that disproportionately gets the customer more often. That's why every sales or marketing funnel you look at going back 125 years always begins with awareness. It's that important. Now, let's go back to Newport, Rhode Island. In 2018, 18% said Gene Kelly School of Dance. 14% said Savion Glover's Tap Till You Drop. And 2% said Twinkle Toes Dance House. In early 2020, I was hired by Twinkle Toes Dance House because he wanted to improve his brand. At 2%, Twinkle Toes was a non-existent company, so I went to work on awareness, because if the customers don't know your name, you don't have a chance. 2 years later, in 2022, purely by coincidence, that same research company came back to town and asked the same question. When you think of tap dancing schools in Newport, Rhode Island, what name comes to mind? Now, 20% said Gene Kelly. 15% said Savion Glover. 13% said Twinkle Toes. In a little over 18 months, top-of-mind awareness jumped 550%. And I was fired. And I deserved it.
You're fired!
A brand awareness jump of 550% looks amazing on paper, but it doesn't pay the rent. I was deservedly dismissed because I failed to read the entire situation. Number one, Twinkle Toes certainly had a brand awareness problem, plus internal issues. I missed that. 2, Twinkle Toes thought building his brand would just open a faucet of money pouring in. I didn't adequately explain that it doesn't work like that. 3, Twinkle Toes had a short-term mindset. I can't change what's in a person's heart. That's the sticky wicket of marketing. That brand awareness lift is the sign of things to come. I fully believe that Twinkle Toes was headed for big success, but it wouldn't come for a couple of years. While the seeds of that rich crop were germinating, I should have helped him with today. It appeared from my vantage point he had many of the short-term devices doing their job. Tactics like PPC, SEM, direct mail, and promotions, they all appeared to be in place. What I failed to see was his constant moving of the pieces. He was turning things on and off. He was trying things he heard other people trying. Plus, there was a whole host of internal challenges like staffing issues, sales training, customer response, culture, all those things. And yes, every one of those things falls under marketing. Marketing is not advertising. Advertising is just one part of marketing. You need a strong brand. It's the foundation of everything that comes next. It's not optional. But a house of straw built on top of a strong foundation is still a house of straw. Much has been written about the long and the short of it. What are you doing to build your brand? What are you doing today to bring in money now? Those are the two things you have to consider. How do you balance those? I'd like to hear from you. Leave a comment in the comments below or send me an email, johnny@molsonpartners.com. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and in the meantime, keep musing about marketing, because that's what I'm doing. Let's take a trip this fall down to Austin, Texas, and gather at the weird and wonderful Wizard Academy and spend 2 days building your marketing plan for next year. My partner Chris Maddock and I will be your teachers, and we're going to talk about what's the right budget, where do you apply that budget, and how do you tell a story over a 12-month time to build and strengthen your brand. It's coming up 19th and 20th of September. You can register at wizardacademy.org, and your tuition includes lodging, food, and we'll throw in bottles of wine too, just to make it a fun experience. Register now for the one-year marketing plan, September 19th and 20th at wizardacademy.org.